Welcome on the cosmic atom, the truth exploded like lightning in the sky, bright, dazzling, and irrefutable. Each thing you stated was piercingly clear, cutting to the core of falsehood. You stood steadfast and unshakable. Their faces lost all color in the sight of what could no longer be ignored, and the justice you brought revealed what they had frantically sought to conceal. Truths too solid to reject, realities too entrenched to dismiss. Now, their anxiety stems not from wrath, but from the frightening understanding that what you said was true. These were not exaggerations or illusions, but the raw, unfiltered reality exposed for everyone to see. Their elaborate facades crumble beneath the weight of your insight, and your quest of justice illuminates the shadows they use to hide, and rather than accepting responsibility, they retreat farther into denial. Their eyes move uncomfortably. Their words fail because responsibility, which they so often demand from others, has become too weighty to bear when aimed at them. Yet your justice was never motivated by vengeance. It was about the truth. And that reality has become the precise thing they dread most. A mirror reflecting the truth they can no longer avoid. Your spiritual awakening gave you the ability to perceive what others couldn't. You traced the patterns, recognized the manipulation, and boldly called the deceit. They labeled you as unstable because of this. They attempted to expel you because of your bravery in speaking out. But time, the final witness, has corroborated all you said, and now they face a reckoning they never expected. The weapons assembled against you. They return to their creators with miraculous precision. Those who build traps for you now fall into the same holes they created. The same voices that uttered poison in your name now taste the poison themselves, not because you want to hurt them. Your hands are clean, yet energy never leaves. It merely completes the circuit and returns to the sender. Now, they lay awake, horrified by the exact turmoil they created. Their uneasiness reveals their fake serenity, and the catastrophes they planned for you continue to torment them on a regular basis. Ironically, many who dismissed your warnings are now rushing to prepare for the very events you predicted. They put your ideas into action without ever making you feel too proud to recognize your foresight. They would rather suffer in silence than acknowledge you saw what they couldn't. Justice has not come with a big noise or showy exhibition. It has crept in like the morning, bursting through the darkness. It penetrates every nook and cranny of falsehood, revealing what was never intended to be seen. Every strategy formed in secret corners, every whispered conspiracy, every premeditated defamation, and every isolation technique comes to the surface, unable to remain hidden for long. Those who previously constituted themselves as your judges are now appearing before a far higher court. And those who attempted to undermine your reputation are now facing repercussions that no amount of denial can mitigate. Now they are exposed to the harsh, merciless light. The cosmos may allow for momentary injustice, but always maintains ultimate equilibrium. What is happening today is just the completion of a spiritual equation that began when they moved against you. Their frenzied hold on false narratives demonstrates how deeply ingrained their dread has grown. They were aware of the possible implications of their conduct from the start, but decided to take a calculated risk, betting on your quiet breakdown and capitulation. They had no idea you'd be so resilient. They never believed your soul was protected by heavenly powers beyond their knowledge. They failed to account for the mystical protection weaved into your destiny. Keep an eye on their partnerships as they splinter and disintegrate. Those who formerly stood in opposition to your light have turned on one another with brutal precision, without a shared adversary to rally them. Their illusory togetherness crumbles like rats fleeing a drowning ship. They disperse, motivated only by self-preservation. Their allegiance was never towards each other. It was only in their collective opposition to your truth. Your viewpoint, honed by adversity, has never been clearer, whilst theirs has been obscured by ego, falsehoods, and deception. You knew from away that this was a spiritual war, not a cosmetic one. While others focused on appearances and monetary gain, you saw through to the inner conflict. You realized that what seemed to be a momentary setback may really be the prelude to a heavenly triumph. Your castle is the knowledge developed through your hardship, while their outward triumph has now devolved into catastrophic disaster. The variations and distortions on which they originally relied to justify their deception are now being called into question. Witnesses they obtained now contradict their own statements. The proof they created crumbles under inspection, revealing the falsehoods woven into every thread. All of this occurs without you lifting a finger. Divine orchestration accomplishes what your hands were never intended to impose. Their resistance to take responsibility is not an indication of strength. It represents spiritual immaturity. Real power assumes accountability. Real leadership takes responsibility for its failings. Their denial reveals a deeper vulnerability. Not only are they afraid of punishment, but also of seeing themselves clearly. Each word of truth you said planted a seed, and the harvest has arrived. You do not need to pursue justice. It comes to you. The world you constructed with honesty and sincerity takes shape. While deception-based illusions disintegrate in daylight, the cosmic lens zooms out, and what seemed to be individual assaults on you is now shown to be part of a much broader network. Your personal struggles are acknowledged as a mirror of communal oppression. What formerly seemed like a private conflict is now seen as a critical component of humanity's awakening. Your vindication is not only about you. It serves as a signal for general transition. Those who exploited your weakness now find themselves helpless. Those who took advantage of your vulnerability are now seeing their own strength eroding. And those who previously laughed at your agony are now dealing with challenges that make your past seem little in contrast to what they have imposed on you. Return to them now, not by your hand, but via the universe's perfect equilibrium, a justice that requires neither revenge nor your assistance. It just functions as it always has. Pay great attention, and you'll see how they appear to age before your own eyes. Deception has a physical toll. The burden of maintaining intricate falsehoods weighs hard on their body and psyche, hastening their demise. Meanwhile, the truth protects your vitality. They grow more fatigued the longer they lay down. The more you connect with the truth, the stronger you become. Their energy drains, whilst yours increases. With each passing day, the disparity grows more pronounced. Your clarity shines clearer. As their uncertainty develops, so does your peace. As their mayhem spreads, through each struggle, you are polished like gold and fire. What was meant to harm you really made you more honest, concentrated, and powerful. However, their inability to develop keeps them trapped in never-ending cycles. They oppose the teachings that might save them, the experiences that could help them grow, and the responsibility that could set them free. But the spiritual principles they attempted to circumvent work with flawless mathematical accuracy. What you put out is returned to you. Intention becomes experience. Action leads to consequences. Whether people believe in these facts, they're nonetheless bound by them. Their denial did not safeguard them. It just delayed the result. And now that wait is over. Watch. Now they scurry in despair, doing everything to avoid the reckoning that is approaching like wild animals pushed into a corner. They lash out, but their swings miss completely. Their accusations get louder, but few people believe them. Their assaults get more intense, but your tranquility remains unshaken. Their plots are more visible today. However, their efficacy dwindles to nothing. They fail to see that divine timing does not imply absence. It's precise. They misinterpret delay as refusal. I mistook your tolerance for weakness. However, the global forces that have been put in motion are now moving at a rate far beyond human understanding. The magnitude of what is coming is beyond their capacity to bear. The ramifications extend beyond the legal and social realms. They are spiritual, and they go deeper than they ever dreamed. Their panic intensifies as they realize that they no longer have control over the situation. No manipulation can change their path. No network of power can protect them from the spiritual rules they broke. This time, they meet something impenetrable and unshakable. Your truth dispelled their delusions. Your honesty revealed their performances. Your unflinching honesty exposed their deceit as they exhibited phony righteousness. Your true spiritual connection highlighted their emptiness. Your quiet assurance underlined their obvious nervousness. Simply being your genuine self produced such a stark, terrible contrast that they could not confront or resist it. The fire they intended to use to kill you was used to build your armor instead. The falsehood they weaved served as the basis for your insight. Every weapon they used against you increased your strength. What was designed to break you merely strengthened your arsenal while depleting theirs. Their past bravery has faded into timid caution when they once spoke out fearlessly. They no longer publicly undermine you, but instead talk in covert. They now lurk in the shadows. The bravado has evaporated. All that remains is dread and regret. They are now at a crossroads. One pathway leads to responsibility, humility, admission of guilt, and maybe even atonement. The other, if they continue to ignore the truth, leads to escalating repercussions, spiritual breakdown, and final annihilation. Their terror stems not just from what is going on, but also from the realization that this may be their only chance to make a sensible decision. The cosmos may be patient, but it is not passive. Moments of choosing constantly occur. Your justice does not stem from retribution. It comes via revelation. Truth does not need to battle. It only has to be seen. The light you beam has never damaged the darkness. It just disclosed it. The clarity you possess does not battle confusion. It provides a greater perspective since you remained consistent with divine rule. Justice is carried out on your behalf without forcing you to become a judge or executioner. And now, the spiritual emptiness of your opponents is starkly obvious, as the transitory power they clung to dissolves in the face of everlasting truth. They are now facing cosmic foreclosure, their moral credit completely depleted by repeated violations of spiritual law, with no residual ethical or energetic capital to negotiate with. They face the consequences. They can no longer postpone or evade. In sharp contrast, the spiritual riches you have amassed, developed by constant integrity in the face of tribulation, shows brilliantly against their evident lack of character and spirit. Observe how the communities that previously turned against you are now questioning their narrative. The same folks who formerly believed in their life are now questioning everything. Their power diminishes most considerably in the areas where they used to harm you the most. The regions they formerly controlled by deceit are now waking. Universal energies connect to affirm truth rather than reward ego, as they liberate themselves via greater understanding. Because truth does not need maintenance or manipulation, unlike falsehoods, which require ongoing reinforcement and vigilance. Truth is unshaken and self-supporting, independent of others, belief, or acceptance. And this is what frightens them. even if they deny it publicly. Deep down, they grasp spiritual law, which is old inside them. Some ancient knowledge warns them that transgression always results in repercussions. Their increasing terror is a reflection of that knowledge. The realization that what is coming cannot be bargained down, avoided, or negotiated with your vindication now bears the obvious weight of heavenly authority. Those who serve the truth often face severe challenges. However, heavenly knowledge never abandons its messengers. The mantle you wore, sometimes grudgingly and against strong resistance, has finally been validated by the universe. Every message you previously provided and ignored is now confirmed, true, and indisputable. Take note of how precisely this justice is delivered. It does not move in broad, generic strokes. It hits precisely where the damage was done. Those who slandered your reputation now face public repercussions, as do those who damage your wealth. Now, deal with the financial meltdown. Those who isolated you have now abandoned you. Those who ridiculed you are now dealing with their own psychological unraveling. This is a heavenly reaction, not vengeance. Similarly crafted with spiritual intelligence. They are just now finding the spiritual protection that has always encircled those who speak the truth. The invisible guards of cosmic borders, the energy shields. Everything existed outside their comprehension. What looked to be fragility was really cloaked with enormous spiritual power. Their efforts to rewrite history fail spectacularly when evidence emerges with perfect timing, often via the same systems they formerly controlled, and the methods they employed to conceal the truth are suddenly exposed with breathtaking clarity. Universal law operates with or without human consent, and their growing desperation merely indicates how near the equation is to completion. This cosmic cycle, once put in motion, has now reached its equilibrium point. The imbalance they caused must be restored, and this global recalibration is faultless. Your steadfastness, despite their torment, demonstrates spiritual power. They failed to identify the traits they mocked: vulnerability, grace, patience, and humility. Now, rising is evidence of your might. While their hubris shows the vulnerability they attempted to conceal, the spotlight of greater awareness now shines into the shadows where they formerly behaved freely, revealing everything to a rising number of awakened souls, even their terror, evasion, and shaking voices. These reveal considerably more than words ever could. Your vindication was never about personal satisfaction. It is about the common awareness of truth. This moment isn't just for you. It is for people who need to know that spiritual justice exists. What you experienced has become part of a larger curriculum for human enlightenment. This is why your justice is supported by supernatural forces. It's not vengeance. It's a readjustment. The whole cosmos is now working to restore the equilibrium that they destroyed with their war against truth. Their collapse is not solely their own. It demonstrates what occurs when spiritual ideals are broken on a large basis. And now the difference between your viewpoint and theirs exposes the whole tale. Your transient grief has given birth to eternal peace. Their temporary reign has resulted in long-term upheaval. Your unwavering integrity in the face of adversity strengthened your core. Their corruption for the sake of comfort only contributed to their demise. Universal law is unconcerned about punishment. It is focused with the restoration, and the dread they now feel is only the soul's recognition that the scales are being adjusted. This vindication occurred not on your schedule, nor at your request, but exactly when it might serve the best purpose. The divine calendar is based on cosmic accuracy, not human haste. What seemed to be a delay is now shown to be flawless orchestration, And those who continue to deny despite overwhelming proof display spiritual decline rather than strength. Their lack of commitment to the truth suggests collapse rather than resilience. Their reluctance to accept truth is no longer an option. This is a symptom. The implications they now confront extend beyond the tangible world, though they undoubtedly seem there. Financial collapse, reputational damage, relational disintegration, structural failure. But underlying all of that comes a deeper reckoning, an existential encounter with a reality they attempted to conceal. And although some of these repercussions unfurl openly for everyone to witness, others occur secretly, silent, intimate, and unavoidable in both visible and unseen ways. Justice is everywhere. Those who mock your beliefs now encounter inexplicable happenings. Those who mock your insight now face reality. Their worldview lacks a context, and your justice was never just about putting things right for you. It was always about demonstrating that the truth cannot be eliminated, simply delayed. They are suddenly enmeshed in circumstances that their restricted intellect could never have imagined. Confronted with a fact they previously rejected, when they ventured into new territory, their limited comprehension never prepared them for the journey. Those who formerly dismissed your insights are now lost in a spiritual labyrinth with no compass to lead them. Their terror develops not merely as a result of what is occurring, but also because they are finally confronted with something their belief systems swore could never exist. What formerly seemed to them as fantasy, spiritual law, divine justice, and cosmic protection is now the same power unraveling their schemes. They are confronted with a reality they previously rejected, which frightens them. When the opposition's fire is at its fiercest, universal support for truth speakers becomes clear. When persecution reaches its zenith, the cosmic armor that protects heavenly messengers starts to shimmer into view. When the attacks grow more organized and brutal, the spiritual protection enveloping those who walk in light becomes unmistakable. And in your instance, this is precisely what happened. The times when you felt most vulnerable were really moments of divine invincibility. They considered infirmity as heavenly concealment and quiet as spiritual strategy. Now, as the tides turn, their anxiety deepens in proportion to their knowledge of what they've actually caused. They are only now starting to understand the depth of the spiritual forces they unleashed by rebelling against truth. These forces do not function inside human frameworks or constrained conceptual concepts. They move with divine knowledge and cosmic precision. What they believed was just a disagreement with another individual turned out to be hostility to universal law itself. Their rejection of divine truth set off a cosmic chain reaction that they could not have predicted. The repercussions they are presently facing are not punishment. They are the inevitable outcome of energetic choices. They find themselves standing in the very area their decisions produced, confronted with the manifestations they tried so hard to avoid. There is no external judgment here, simply the direct result of mismatched aim. The terror that they now wear like a second skin is not an accident. It is the soul's natural realization that they have crossed a spiritual boundary. The carefully crafted illusion they created is collapsing beneath the weight of reality. And yet, you stay still because you've realized the cosmos doesn't need your assistance to balance itself. Divine order replenishes itself perfectly. Spiritual justice works with or without your participation. This knowledge sets you free. You no longer have to prove, argue, or correct. Your vindication comes from ideals much bigger than vengeance. It comes with the quiet, irresistible flow of natural law in your life. Your walk, your survival, is all the proof you need. You don't need to defend your truth when you've lived it. Every breath you take, despite their efforts to silence you, becomes a testament. Every step you go ahead in peace and grace sends a statement louder than any public defense. Your continuing progress, despite their best attempts to hold you down, demonstrates all they tried so hard to deny. Your own being becomes a live opposition to their falsehoods. You are both the defense and the witness, the evidence and the prophesy. You are the storm they didn't see coming. Justice. Real justice does not yell. It enters in silently and settles like a reality that cannot be denied. And now it's arrived. Not early or late, but just on divine time. What you originally dubbed delay was never really delayed. It was divine timing, orchestrating events for maximum effect. The cosmos never forgot what happened to you. The delay was not due to absence. It was an alignment. Behind the scenes, forces you couldn't see were working together to reveal the truth in a manner that no one could dispute. Those who earlier scoffed at your intuition, derided your visions, or ignored your perception are now confronted with irrefutable proof. They are feeling the precise spiritual repercussions of refusing what was supposed to be presented. Mockers, saboteurs, and manipulators. Each is now experiencing what they dreaded the most: financial hardship, public exposure, emotional collapse, and relationship catastrophe. But behind all of these obvious effects, there is something more profound, a spiritual reckoning. The soul is brought to account. While this occurs on one level, publicly in ways that others can see, most of it takes place silently, deep inside. Some justice is carried out in front of witnesses. Other types of justice emerge behind closed doors. Only the person knows how much it weighs. Nonetheless, both exist and are heavenly. The two elements of justice, visible and unseen, result in a total reckoning from which no denial can escape. The same individuals who ignored your spiritual awareness now find themselves engulfed in realms that their material brains cannot comprehend. Those who branded you theatrical or insane are now dealing with situations that their reasoning cannot explain. It's no longer about you against them. It is about spiritual laws displaying their knowledge. Your vindication serves more than simply a therapeutic purpose. It sends a message to the world that the truth cannot be suppressed indefinitely. Your own experience has become part of a larger awakening. This moment is more than simply a victory. It is a revelation. The protection you always had is now obvious. The light that always led you is now evident. And the difference between your route and theirs, that explains everything. While you climbed in humility and grace, they plummeted in arrogance and denial while you allowed for progress. They opposed any attempts at reform, but you stood firm on the truth. They partnered with illusion. And now, those many options have blossomed into whole diverse outcomes. You found tranquility because you persevered with honesty. They are in disarray because they resisted something that was never supposed to be battled. Their pain is not your fault, but your tranquility is your reward. The dread you see in them now is really a confession. It is a live acknowledgement that they finally comprehend, however on a soul level, what they have done. The more people fight, the more severe the consequences become. Evasion does not invalidate the truth. Rather, it intensifies the correction. Delay does not imply escape. It just intensifies the effect when the equilibrium is restored. And now the return has arrived. With quiet certainty, see the cosmos do its job. Is there no reason to retaliate? No animosity is necessary. You are in agreement. You're covered. And justice is being orchestrated across numerous strata right now. Emotional, financial, relational, and energy examples demonstrate that divine law never forgets. Your vindication is spiritual emotional, and pragmatic. It spans time, realms, and consciousness. This isn't destruction. It is revelation, not revenge. It is the truth unveiled in all of its unmistakable brightness, as well as what had always been concealed. Your protection, purpose, and purity are now on full display for everyone to see. The cosmos now rises in support of your path, honesty, and steadfast position. What was formerly considered weakness, moments in which you were outnumbered, silenced, or dismissed, now manifests itself as deep invincibility. The whole power of your spiritual might appears in the height of resistance, when the darkness has orchestrated its most vigorous attack. What they saw as frailty was really heavenly serenity. What they thought was defeat was really sacred restraint. And their growing terror is not limited to what they see around them. It's about what people sense pushing in from places they've never recognized, since what's coming now is beyond the material. This isn't only about destroyed reputations or financial failure. This is about seeing the ultimate mirror, which reflects spiritual truth. Their dread is a quiet confession, a subconscious realization that they have triggered forces they were never supposed to challenge. Even if they reject it publicly, they know they've acted against something bigger than themselves. Their anxiety reflects not just shame, but also spiritual knowledge and an instinctual understanding that there is no way to avoid the reckoning that occurs when divine equilibrium is restored. This is no longer a personal tale. Your vindication has transformed into a divine act of communal enlightenment. What you went through wasn't for naught. It was for something far bigger than personal recognition. Your struggle, quiet, and endurance. It has broken open the way for others to awaken. Your particular success has now become a key that opens freedom for countless. The immaculate timing of your justice is no accident. It did not arrive when you asked for it, nor when the world anticipated it. It came at the precise time it was supposed to, according to the faultless accuracy of cosmic scheduling. The global calendar does not adhere to mortal timetables. It follows divine rule in perfect harmony, unaffected by human impatience or misunderstanding. Those who rose up against you saw your quiet as weakness and your solitude as defeat. They had no idea you were protected by a power beyond their understanding. They realize it's too late. The spiritual authority who defend the truth, the invisible shield that surrounds those selected to convey the light. Their dread now reflects a growing realization. They were against a holy concept rather than a specific individual. They didn't just assault you. They questioned the basic nature of divine order. The justice unfolding before them was not motivated by vengeance or reprisal. It was sparked by their own activities and driven by the universe's basic, immutable principles. It was not your hand that pushed it forward. It was the inescapable result of cosmic principle. You did not need to plan or struggle for this moment. It arrived like it was always supposed to, because truth, once sown, flourishes. Because energy, once in motion, returns. This is the outcome of your alignment, not your power. It is the fruit of obedience to greater law rather than manipulation. Not a premeditated victory, but divine fulfillment. And now you are expected to witness rather than act, to stand as a conscientious spectator of justice. It is so flawless and complete that you just need to be aware of it. Your presence, survival, and tranquility. Those are sufficient. Everything you stood for has now been verified by events rather than arguments. The sheer presence of this moment demonstrates that you were always connected to something divine. Allow them to experience what you previously carried alone. Allow them to grasp the weight of the truth they attempted to conceal, for what was once concealed is now revealed. What was once rejected is now undeniable. And what was once scorned is now the driving force restoring equilibrium. That's all for today, dear Father. I pray for the development of my faith. Please let me believe you even when there is no tangible proof. Let me believe in your eternal presence, knowing that you will never hurt me. I realize that your intentions for me are ones of success rather than harm, in order to provide me with a bright future. Thank you, kind and everlasting Father, for always hearing my voice. I give this prayer to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provisions. I am thankful for your presence in my life and the richness you provide. If this video spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with others who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your trip and how you're getting ready for your own victorious homecoming. If you want to help us out, please consider making a donation. Buy me a coffee. This allows us to consistently improve our content in order to provide you with the best possible experience. The link to buy me a coffee is in the description. No present is too tiny. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity spreads God's message and gives people hope. Do not stop here. Watch our next video for amazing insights into the indicators that indicate you are the chosen one. We've loved sharing this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for sticking with us until the finish. Keep shining brightly and face your fate with confidence. See you next time. Cosmic Atom Knowledge sends blessings to all lovely individuals. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive.
If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, you not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.